Did you find your way into the role of Inez in the 688?
Oh my gosh, that is actually a crazy story. So I actually was just finishing my first series regular season with Power of Ghost, and I was living in New York for that for about a year and a half, and it was just so sad for me to leave New York. It was my first time ever living there. I just remember it was my last night. I had packed all of my stuff that I have had for that whole time and went to a dinner with one of my other friends who's also an actress. And piece, that's something I always wanted to do. And, something that has to do with action. And she was like, no, seriously, the same. Literally, like not even 5 minutes later, I get a phone call and it's with my agent and my manager on at the same time. And I'm like, this is off. This is weird. This is weird. What is this? And they're just like, well, you're not going home tomorrow to LA with all your stuff. You're taking all that ish and taking it to Atlanta because you're going to literally start filming in the next like 2, 3 days to
Wow.
do 688. So it was wild. That was just like one of the most craziest times and opportunities to have at the moment, thinking I'm going one way, but then, God and the universe takes me
Yes,
another way.
that is an amazing story. Oh my goodness. Like, right and immediately after finishing. It was perfect, just
It's
perfect
crazy.
timing.
I had some baggage, okay? I had a lot of baggage though. So it was tough. It was worth it. So I was fine.
Yeah. There were many women in the battalion who were Caribbean and Mexican descent, and you chose to make your character an Afro Latina like yourself. Why was it so important for you to do this?
Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, no, it really was important for me. When I got the breakdown, it didn't say she was Afro-Latina. So I
Mhm.
felt like once I read the background and I connected to it, it said that she was one of the few from California to get deployed, to be a part of the 688. And then her background skill was in working in the garment district. So that was a number two that like connected me so well because I know what it's like to work in it's now called the fashion district in downtown LA. But I was, when I was in college, uh, took a break from acting, I was working tirelessly every day trying to model and pitch myself to model for so many clothing brands that were in that fashion district. So it felt like, oh, this girl connects with me, so much. I want to create a rich background for her. I then looked up her name and it derived from a Latin root word. So I was like, I'm Afro Latina. She has to be Afro Latina. So just all of those connections made me feel like it was important to create that rich background and also shed light on the fact that, yes, during that time, even though a lot of light was focused more on the segregation of Black and white, there were women, that were biracial and should be, shed light on. And there were so many other women of color, during this time that we should highlight. So I thought it was important to do that for sure.
Yeah, I think it was a very good choice. I think it was also really important to have that tied in, especially with the story that's being told.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How would you describe Inez, and how did you prepare for her role?
Man, she is a badass. She really, puts her life down on the line. She is one of the crucial parts of the mission. She drives these trucks, from the headquarters where the women are organizing and starting to prepare mail, to the warehouses. So she drives the trucks during a world war to these warehouses that are filled to the brim, with packages, rat infested packages and molded mail. She has to deliver them and get them in these bags to go back to the headquarters to where these women will start, organizing and preparing them. So what I loved about her was the fact that she was putting herself on the line, number one. And number two, she had something else to offer. Her background in working in the garment district was the fact that she could help figure out where certain packages were coming from because there was a lot of mail that, you couldn't see these addresses. They were molded. You couldn't see where certain mail or packages were supposed to go to. So when she saw clothing, in these packages she was able to use her skill working in that garment district to know where certain fabrics were sourced from. So I just think that helped me so much, like I said from before, knowing where she was, knowing what it was like to walk a mile or two in her shoes because she worked in that field.
Yeah.
Um, that helped me prepare to just know who she was and how important she was
The
to
fashion
fashion.
district and with that character. The 688 was filmed on location in England. How did the location and the set production help you to immerse yourself into the
Oh, that's a
character?
great question. It really just, I mean, that was the first time I ever been to London, anyways, by the way. I think all of us being an ensemble cast, it really was just so fun to just know what it was like when the women were together for the first time in that area too. I think a lot of us really just like stepped into these shoes of the women that really for the first time was ever able to go outside of their norm.
Mhm.
So it was amazing. I mean, I think the minute we stepped foot on it, it was set, but it wasn't. It was where these women actually set foot themselves. So it automatically just came over us. Like this is where they were. This is where, they put their all into completing a mission that was so hard to do with limited resources that it just automatically kind of comes over you.
Yeah.
You know?
Because the 688 were an all black women's battalion that came together during World War II. How were you and the other actors? This is something that you just kind of touched on, able to create that bond that could resonate on screen.
Yeah, I think it just happened so naturally, which was really cool because I think Tyler and the production, everybody knew, what they were doing. They're
Right.
pros at this. We got to go there like maybe a week or two ahead of time in London, just to get used to, the time change.
Mhm.
It's drastic. I mean, it took us about a week and a half to really get used to that timing. So that was nice because we got that whole week and a half to really like connect, be together, explore London together. I mean, it really felt like a girl group, I swear. It really did because there's so many like characters and so many personalities. And thank God some of us even knew each other from back in the day because, we've been doing this for so long. So to be like my favorite thing ever in this world is to be a part of an ensemble cast because you get to really, just like these women had to, support each other, lean on each other and go through each, experience and journey together. Because there was a lot of journeys with this, from traveling to doing choreograph with choreography, I'm sorry, with B. Allen. We got to dance. I got to sing with Shanice, my co-star, who is a phenomenal singer. She was on um what's that word? Into the Woods.
Okay.
Broadway. She's just amazing. So I got to sing with her. We got to train together. There were so many things that we did together. And I think that it just really brought the bond together to understand what these women had to go through together.
Yeah, I think it's really great that you talk about like always want to work with a big ensemble cast and how the an ensemble cast like really brings together. It shows on screen and it really brings together the role and the
Yeah.
picture. And so I would love to hear you talk about how it was working with the iconic
I got a
Washington.
dream come true, of course. It's crazy. You don't ever really think you're gonna be working with people that you look up to or that you've seen your whole life, on TV. And then you do, and then you realize like, wow, like they are just normal, down
Yeah.
to earth, gracious. She's just so gracious. She's so patient and she's so giving, like with her time. She made sure to get to know us really well. She invited us all over. We were in this like this cute hotel that had cottages. It wasn't like a normal hotel or a modern hotel. And she was like, "You guys all meet me at my cottage. We're gonna do s'mores and have a little pajama night." And it was so much fun. We did a TikTok. I think that
Yeah,
low
yeah.
key viral. Yeah, that was a wild night. And I remember she's like, take all of this. Like I was like, I'll take it. She took it. She gave me all the marshmallows and the s'mores, and she's just so fun, and she's just so with it. Like she just knows how to like just understand, each person for who they are, and she's just so gracious. So I had so much fun working with her, and I learned so much from her.
Yeah, that's amazing that you got to experience that. What was the most challenging part of filming, and then what was the most fulfilling part about it?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I would say the most fulfilling part definitely was just being with my girls. Like you really do create a sisterhood and then working with the best people, Tyler, Carrie, so rewarding because you're learning, as you go.
Mhm.
I would say the challenging part is for me as an actor, I'm growing, every role that I take on, I'm literally, it's like you're learning on the job. Because so many things could get thrown at you. So I guess ch the most challenging part, which it wasn't to me so challenging, was more of like a learning, lesson or like an acting class. It was just the pacing, when a lot of people they say when they work with Tyler, he's so effective and he just knows what he wants. So the pacing, like it's fast. And you gotta, especially with an ensemble cast, we all are like pitching in with these lines. So there's a rhythm, there's a dance. And that was challenging for me to kind of, acclimate to. But I think, like I said, with the support and like with the understanding that we're here together, we're gonna get it and we're getting it. It feels good to have that backup. So that helped me, get through it pretty easily.
That's good. The six triple eight were a courageous and historic group of women that many people still don't know that much about. What do you hope viewers take away from the film?
Ooh, good question. That is, wow, that's a really good question. I think that really just to highlight these women and respect these women. I want people to take away that these women, were so strong and that they could do anything they put their mind to when they're together. Like I said, we're given some harsh, obstacles, to face when they didn't have that many resources too, which is really difficult when you're trying to go overseas, for the first time. So I think that them sticking together should be so inspiring and so motivating to people to, look at and to realize like, man, yes, this movie will show how far we've come, but also maybe it will show too, like how far we still have to go because of the fact of what they went through at that moment of time. And yes, they were together. They brought themselves, to be able to overcome the obstacles. But it's like, goddamn, like you see where we are now in this election.
Yeah.
I think that if we can, attest to what they went through and see that as an example, we can do whatever we put our mind to today, too, especially with what's going on now. So I think just sticking together, I think just looking up to women and realizing that women need to be respected and seen as these fierce women that can do anything they set their mind to.
Yes. Thank you. That was a great answer.
It's a long answer, but it's so because it's so layered, you know?
Yes, yes. And I think especially with this film, with it being a different kind of story that people haven't really heard before, I think it's really important for them to see women and women of color, Black women doing these things and doing it in a different way, but making such an impact, making such an
Yeah.
impact.
I mean, I think if we read this in our history books too, like we would have so much more
Mhm.
pride in our identity. And, it's just, it could go so deep. And the fact that it was a message that was not, I don't want to say hidden, but just
Yeah.
wasn't highlighted, it just shows like there's so many more stories out there that we don't know of, that
Yes.
can only like give us more pride in who we are as a as black colored women, really.
Yeah. Yeah. You already worked on great shows and you continue to pick dynamic roles in your projects for your career. What is next for you?
Oh, okay. I do have two projects coming up. One's a thriller. I've never done a thriller before. It was so challenging for me, girl. Yeah, it was very challenging because I'm so used to, sticking to the script and playing the girl next door, but this one was real traumatic and dark and deep. So I had to go there and I had to rely more on myself than the script. So there was a lot of emotions, there was a lot of crying, there was a lot of, like I said, trauma. So I'm excited to see that. That comes out soon. I can't say with who or with what project it is, or I'm sorry, not project, with network it is, but it's gonna be a good one. I'm excited about that. And then I just hopped onto a new project that's gonna be a little bit more action based. So that's gonna be really fun too. We're in the pre-stages, so soon to come.
Yeah, you're getting all your action roles in and your thrillers. I love thrillers, so I'm excited to see the one that you just spoke about.
Me too. Like I
Yeah,
said, I'm looking forward to obviously working with talented people and learning with, just or learning from the best people that are, have been seasoned to do this for so many years. So just to even be given scripts at this point right now and asked to be a part of anything, especially where this industry is right now, is just such a blessing.
yeah,
So I'm just looking forward to just, bending and growing and just with every role, I want to learn something new. So this is, like I said, something I've never done before, thriller and action. So trying to check it off the list.
yeah. I love that for you. What would you like to say to those who are fans of you and your work?
I just want to say thank y'all so much because honestly, ever since the show Power, I've received so much support and love. And the things that you guys are DMing me, it really means a lot to me. Please understand. I try to get to all of them, but most of you guys know I do. I do respond. So I just want to say, thank you guys for even giving me, the energy and the understanding that I do have a purpose, really. Sometimes you think about just yourself.
Yeah.
And when you see these people really saying things like, man, you are pushing me to, go outside of my fears and just, do things I never would do, it means so much and it feels like a responsibility. So I just want to say thank you guys and keep doing everything, anything you put your mind to, you will and can do. And sky is the limit for sure.